It's another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Golficity. We're going to be talking about Martin Laird's win at the Shriners. We've got a great interview with Ryan French, also known as Monday Q Info on Twitter. That's an interview I feel like you guys are going to really like. It's like just a completely different side of golf. And we're also going to be looking into the CJ Cup with some DFS and betting picks. So let's get into it. Okay, it's episode 50. We're coming up in about 2 weeks on the 1 year Annie of the Pin High Pod. So we kind of already had our year-end show, so I don't really know what we're going to do for that. So we'll kind of we'll figure that out. Maybe just Pin High moments in general. Doesn't even have to be part of the podcast, just like in general what we've done. But that doesn't matter for now. So quick Shriners recap. Martin Laird down the stretch was looking so shaky.
Okay, so 17th hole, par 3.
Par 3, yep.
Literally hits it like all the way right. Like worse than I probably would have hit a better shot on the hole than he did. Way right. He's behind like a little tree. Has to hit like a little punch shot like under the tree, which like us amateur golfers, like some of us are pretty good at that because we do it all the time. But like the pro golfers, they don't really do it that much. So you had to hit a really nice, like, little punch shot under the tree. Hits it to about 15 feet.
It was perfect. The punch shot was literally perfect.
Perfect.
I thought it was going to stop next to the hole.
You could not have played that any better in that kind of circumstance.
And the announcers are like, "Oh, he'll be lucky to make a 4 here, like on a par 3. He'll be lucky to make a 4, like probably might even make a 5." Anyway, puts this like little punch shot to like about 15 feet, I would say.
15 to 20, yeah.
Yeah, and then just nails the putt. So he comes out of a par, still in the lead. We go to the 18th hole, hits it down the middle of the fairway. Not a problem there. Then it gets to his approach shot. I think he ended up short right. There was like a little like sprinkler head right in front of him, but like he couldn't take relief. He was like behind it. Has a chip shot up, mishits the chip shot. It's like way short. Has about 30 feet to like win the tournament pretty much. Doesn't make that putt, bogeys. So we
almost made it.
It was so close. It was close. Almost made it. Just didn't have enough pace.
Really good putter.
Yeah. For like from what I saw, his putting was
his ball striking was god awful when I was watching.
Terrible.
Well, yeah, the last.
But during the week, it was probably pretty good.
Yeah, it was just
so
like that. Like that
takes us. That takes us into a playoff with Matthew Wolff and Austin Cook. So like when you're looking at that playoff, you're like, all right, like who's gonna win this? Like Matthew Wolff seems to have the advantage. He also like had just finished too. Had an eagle on 16. Matthew Wolff, so he was playing well down the stretch. First playoff hole, I think they all ended up in like the similar spot. They all had like 20-foot putts. They all missed.
Matthew Wolff was above the hole. Austin Cook was above the hole, and I think Laird was below the hole.
So they all missed that putt. So we go to second playoff hole, which is on 17 again. This is the hole where Laird went like way right before. Again, they're all on the green, I think. Cook and Wolff are out. They both hit like really good putts that just miss. Both tap in, I guess, for par. And then Laird's got like this 10-foot putt. What'd you say?
I think it was like
it would take
like 15, 20 feet probably.
Okay, 15. Yeah. So he has another 15 to 20-foot putt on 17 again, and he nails it, and that's the win.
And you almost missed that one too. Like you watch the video.
It was going right to the edge.
You think it's gonna dive like off toward the lip out or just miss, but he made it. It was pretty.
I thought he babied it at first.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's like he didn't hit hard enough, I thought.
And I will say
good putt.
The timing of all this was perfect for Sunday afternoon. It was like right when the Giants game, like last 4 o'clock game ended. Flip over to the golf, and we're down the last 3 holes of the event. Laird's got a 1-stroke lead. We're going into a playoff. Like great,
fantastic golf to watch.
Yeah,
really was.
For the Shriners Open.
out of the Shriners Open, which was a pretty strong field this week. See that's pretty good. Also, disappointment from Patrick Cantley this week. I think Trev actually picked him to win on Skins. he was in the lead. He had the third round lead. I think he had the lead going in the final day. He went like 4 over on the last day. So
Yeah.
that's a disappointing day.
Yeah, I saw that like the leaderboard. I saw he was in the lead. I'm like, oh, okay, I could have like a winner. Like I wasn't even like for all who don't know, I still have COVID, so I was on the pod, but then
No, that's the first time we've mentioned anything. Of
Yeah,
that.
we didn't even mention it last
episode,
week.
Yeah,
okay,
last episode we
okay.
were like, well, he doesn't confirmed have it, so let's just like not say that. But
Yeah,
so
No,
cat's out of the
I-
bag. Trevor has COVID-19.
I still have it. I'm in quarantine for about like 4 more days, and then I'm good to go. But yeah, don't wear a mask, stay inside, socially distance. But
Don't go to a Miami Dolphins football game and a South Carolina football game. Hey,
don't-
2020, maybe stay away from sporting events.
maybe I'm probably going to.
Even though you're going to the
Bears
Bears Panthers.
Yeah,
But whatever.
yeah.
Sports are
Plus,
life.
I saw like they texted like, all right, just make your picks. And I said, I'm like, you know what? Cantley played well like 3 years in a row or something like that, or played well last year. I'm like, I'll pick Cantley. And he played well. So, and the field was like Morikawa was playing, Webb Simpson.
Oh, good-
was playing,
good field.
DeChambeau
I mean, we
was
had
playing.
Bryson was the
good
first
field.
round leader. Bryson was the first round leader. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. Like Bryson's just gonna like not like
Had a really
dominate the
bad
field.
Saturday,
He's
or else he would have
gonna
won.
win again. Like this sucks. Like I don't want Bryson to win every event. Like people were like commenting on the Instagram post. Like he really just is so much better than everybody else right now. It's crazy. But
Mhm.
I was
good thing Bryson didn't win.
I was talking to somebody after he was, I think 7 over, like 5 or 7 under through like 9 on Thursday or something. I was talking to my boss, and I was just like on a different scale than obviously Tiger Woods was, because there's 1, much better players now, and 2, Tiger was still much better.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau has the opportunity to like do some Tiger stuff, and like
Oh, he
Because he's
does.
trying to
Win, like,
revolutionize
like,
the
If he
game.
gets
turn-
consistent,
tournaments in a
like
year.
he could literally make every. Like, I could see him literally making like almost every single cut on tour.
Right.
Like, he
I mean,
could
probably already
all he
done.
has to do is get consistent, and he will compete every single week.
Speaking of Bryson, the rumor is this week that he's adding even more weight. And he also said he wants to debut his new 48-inch driver at the Masters.
Oh my gosh, he's literally gonna.
Like he's
I
gonna
mean,
be hitting the
I
ball
mean,
400
fair.
yards in the Masters.
When before he decided to take out that 48-inch driver, I think maybe it was Jordan Spieth saying that like it turns into like a par 68 course for him.
Right.
Yeah,
And
like
also-
Whichever.
like,
Even this week there was like a 370-yard like par 4, and he drove the green. And
with an
like,
iron.
yeah.
That was
and-
at the 300-yard par 4.
Okay, never mind.
That was a
still
300
still
but
driving
still,
the green on
both.
par 4 with an iron.
Yeah,
right,
still.
but he had the 370-yard par 4, drove the green, and he was like, "Wait, I hit the green. Like, I feel so bad. I might have like actually hit the group in front of us, because like, which is like shouldn't even
No, he doesn't.
be in
He doesn't.
play. But,
Should
like,
not be in play at all.
No.
Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I mean,
not at the Masters.
I also was hearing interview Jordan Spieth did with like golf.com or something like that recently, or Golf Digest's new podcast. It was one of the two. And he was saying like, yeah, Bryson will have to lose the Masters to not win the Masters. So like,
yeah,
I was thinking about
Hopefully
maybe putting a
it's-
little sprinkle
mess
down
up,
on
mess up
Bryson.
mentally.
Hopefully
he's
he
like-
puts it in a like a bad spot, hits 3 wood 4 times, out of bounds twice or
Yeah,
something.
like that. He'll probably if he hits in the water on 12, like on Sunday or something like that, like some Francesco Molinari, Jordan Spieth type of stuff.
So,
That's pretty much it.
but
You're right though. He's literally gonna like hit driver iron on every single par 4, and it won't even like it'll be like he won't even be.
he's going driver wedge on the par 4s.
No, par 5. He'll
Oh,
go
par
driver,
fives, yeah.
driver iron every single
Driver
one. It
like
won't
a
even be
9 iron.
problem. Yeah,
It's gonna be. I figured out. So, I thought that the course I played. So I participated in this like women's event, the other week, because like they needed this.
Did you use your women's wedge?
No, I
finish
didn't.
last
You should
place?
toss it out for that event.
Yeah. So like these 2
perfect
women
idea.
dropped out. It was like a team event. So the one group needed like a marker for their group so that they like didn't cheat. Obviously they weren't probably not going to cheat, but like I just I needed to be with them. So they're like, "You want to just play with us?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And I wasn't gonna hold them back and play from like the tips. Like that would be such like a dumb move because I'm like literally working the tournament. And I thought I played it from 5,800 yards, so I was like, oh, that's like further than Silvermine. Like that's not that bad. I was like looking at past results this week and putting stuff together for like our end of the year meeting. I played it from 4,800 yards.
little par 3 course.
Oh my god,
dude, or 4,900. But like I think, but like I had driver like 9-iron into a par 5. I should have known.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's so fun. Like that's fun, but at some point you're like this is like a joke.
I mean, to put that in perspective, I have a Silvermine scorecard right here. The ladies' tees at Silvermine are 4,700 yards. So
I've always like
almost 48. So it's like playing the ladies' tees from Silvermine.
we should do one day play the ladies' tees at like I've always wanted to play the ladies' tees like Silver Spring and see what happens. Just like I just want to see like what happens, what I would shoot.
I bet I would shoot like worse because I would be like.
We used to play the white tees, like the second from the front, and like when we were like seniors in high school, we played interclub from the white tees, and like me and my friends were like 5 handicaps, and we're playing like we're shooting like a par 5, we're going like driver wedge into a par 5. Like, it wasn't even fair.
The second hole there, if you play from the ladies' tees.
Oh, it
turns into a par 4.
It's a par 4. It's a par 4. That's what we played from in our interclub. We played the white tees, which is up there, and it's a par 4.
Yeah. Oh, are the white tees up there with the
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I played it once. I hit it like out of bounds right. I couldn't find my ball, and I still made bogey in the hole because I went like driver iron onto the green.
Yeah.
I still made par actually. I still went driver iron onto the green, made the putt for par. It would have been an eagle on a par 5.
But yeah, so I forget how this even came up, but the fact that I only shot like an 80. I mean, whatever. I was also in an interesting state that morning. But what else we got? Speaking of guys that probably play in interesting states all the time, John Daly had a hole-in-one, literally just barefoot, being John Daly. Probably had
it was recorded.
Yeah,
somebody was recording him.
It was recorded. Yeah. And he didn't even care.
What was it? He said it was like his 13th hole in one.
Yeah,
or something.
it's like number 13.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Have you heard the Tiger story where like John Daly was telling him like you need to come drink with us? It's like no, I've I got some practice to do. He's like, you've been practicing for 5 hours. He's like, no, I still need to like go for a run. Blah blah blah. And like the next day they were paired together after John Daly had been drinking all day and Tiger had been doing stuff all day. And he beat him by like 3 strokes.
Who, Daly or Tiger?
Daly beat Tiger by 3 strokes. And Tiger came up to him and was like, maybe I need to start drinking.
Yeah.
So
that's the most Tiger thing I've ever heard too.
Yeah. That was probably what 2000, like who even knows?
Yeah.
But
God knows when.
Just
John Daly's electric.
Our Monday hypothetical, I mean, is John Daly the huge gambler. So our Monday hypothetical is which tour player is the best gambler not named Phil Mickelson?
John Daly's up there. Like you gotta go.
He's not
John
a tour
Daly,
player though, really, right now.
That's true. That's true. But like people think John Daly would think a PGA Tour.
As far as like people gambling like when they're playing against each other, I feel like Brooks Koepka and like Justin Thomas always have like these crazy bet. Like they had the hole-in-one bet, I think, or something, or like the eagle bet or something, like the hole-out bet. I feel like they have a lot of like bets very low key. I feel like Brooks is very confident in his game, where he's like, "Yeah, I'll bet."
He definitely is.
I feel like
I feel like JT is that guy too. Like he'll put some bets in like when he's playing. Like
Eddie Pepperell's got to be a gambler.
Eddie, oh, that'd be amazing.
He's got to be.
Yeah, he has to be. I agree.
Also, I mean, I don't even know if he is, but he just screams like his whole look. Jeek was saying this earlier. Harry Higgs just screams gambler.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Like
he's not a guy
who's
playing on Sundays. He's going to the casino wherever the tournament is and playing some bets in.
Exactly. Misses a cut, just goes straight to the casino.
Yeah, straight to the casino. He's like, yeah, oh well, I'll make my money back.
Yeah. Who else? I don't know.
I feel like Justin Thomas definitely. Apparently JT. So every year, Michael Jordan and a group of friends go to the Kentucky Derby. And they play 36 holes at the golf course where JT's dad is like the head professional still. After a few years of caddying for MJ, he actually gets to play with him in this match every year now. So like him and MJ are like always like betting on like their rounds because obviously MJ is a huge gambler. So
Yeah.
JT's
feel
got
like-
bet in him.
You know
So
who I feel like could be low key like a gamble a lot, or like good at it? Matt Kuchar. I feel like he's the kind of guy who
You're like
just
he's the
I know-
kind of guy that ghosts the bookie though.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But like I feel like he's just like
the Jack Webster of the PGA
But
Tour.
like I feel like he wouldn't like if he was like betting, he wouldn't be betting the amounts like Phil. I feel like he'd go up to Phil and like or like someone like playing pressure. He's like, hey, you want to do 5, 5, 10? Like
I could see that. I could see that.
Like just like low, like super like low key like amount of money and everything like that.
I'm on like a little website here about like gambling stories. Matt Kuchar has a story on here.
Yeah.
When he was an amateur, he lost a bet to one of his Georgia Tech teammates. They were playing, and he said he didn't have much money to his name or whatever, and they were still playing for like a lot of money. He was playing really good golf, and he doubled down his bet on 17, but he birdied to beat him, and then he doubled down his bet again on 18, and his friend made an albatross. And he lost a bunch of money. He said it took him like 5 installments to pay it back.
That's
my
that's
God.
gambling as a college
Yep.
student.
What about I feel like Joel Damon seems like that kind of guy too. Doesn't really,
I could see. I mean, he's always looking for a money match. Like whenever he misses the cut, it seems like. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. He always is. So I feel like he could be one of those guys.
There's a lot of good answers for this one.
Yeah,
Golfers
'cause
like
golf
to
and gambling goes hand in hand.
I know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Trying to see if
So
anyone's
I feel like that pretty much
commented.
answers that question. We'll see what the go over to the Instagram and comment what you think if you are
for
hearing
sure.
us talk about somebody who like easily should be. I feel like there's a snub on here somewhere, but all right. So let's get into our interview with Ryan French, aka Monday Q Info on Twitter. It's a great one. Let's get into it. All right, so we got a big guest on the podcast this week. He runs the Monday Q Info account on Twitter. His name's Ryan French. And we're going to be talking about a side of golf that the average fan might not know quite a lot about. So without further ado, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what made you start this account and how it got to be like where it is right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. After college, my dad and I I played college golf, junior college golf, and then tried to walk on at a 4-year school, and kind of my wake-up call that there was a lot better golfers out there than me. And so after college, my dad and I used to go and caddy on a mini tour. This is like 2000 to like 2010. And that was kind of our like dad and son trip. It was really cool. Met tons of players. It was awesome. I was working full-time in the restaurant business. I ran a group of restaurants. But when I had a week off, I would go caddy. Just stayed in touch with guys. Became friends with a lot of guys. And so, like, if they were at a Monday Qualifier close to me or a mini tour event, I would go caddy. So fast forward many years, and I was in the restaurant business. My son had brain surgery about 2.5 years ago. At that same time, the restaurant group that I was running went bankrupt. At the same time, relatively, our long-term nanny graduated from college and was going into the workplace, so lost her. So it's kind of a perfect storm of things, and my plan was to take like 6 or 7 months off and 5 months, whatever, and find a good job, get my son back to health, and look for a job that fit for our family and those kind of things. And here we are 3 weeks later, I'm on your podcast, or 3 months, years later, and I'm on your podcast. So it's been a crazy ride, man. I mean, never in a minute. I say it all the time. I tweet it a lot, but I don't want to overstate it. It's like, if I thought I had 100 followers, 1,000 was like too many to even think about. Didn't think. This is how I sum it up: is if you said, "What's the craziest thing that will happen?" When I started this account, none of the stuff that's actually happened I would have listed because it would have been too like crazy to even think about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome story.
I feel like a lot of these guys that you cover as well have like just awesome stories that just, you come out of nowhere. This the guy this week who finished T27, Gilgich, right?
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
like
Michael Gligic. Yeah.
yeah. He like everybody. I feel like every week I'm seeing a new story about these guys and their journey to like where they've become. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
Guys are crazy.
I think that, it's just part of why the account has worked is these stories are out there. It's a large portion of pro golfers are guys that just grind forever because on TV we hear about the Matt Wolfs and the Colin Morikawas and those kind of guys. For every one of those, there's 100 guys that struggle. I mean, there's plenty of number one, former ranked amateurs. Norman Zhang is a perfect example. The dude can't crack an egg in a Monday qualifier right now. And his coach called him the next Tiger Woods. And so, golf is just it's a grind for 95 or 97 or whatever that number is % of players. And guys like Michael, who turned pro out of high school, and probably in his own words, didn't have much business doing that. It took him 12 years to get to the PGA Tour. And that's a lot of money, a lot of time sleeping in the car and staying in shitty hotel rooms and those kind of things. It's just it's a long, long grind to get there.
Yeah. So
here, my question is, since a lot of our listeners don't really know like how the Monday qualifiers work, can you kind of just go through like how do you get into a Monday qualifier, and then like from there, how do you like qualify for an event?
Yeah, sure. So on the PGA Tour side, I'll cover it quickly. So there's a pre-qualifier on the PGA Tour side. It kind of weeds out people who like want to do this for fun, and so in order to get into a pre-qualifier, you have to have a handicap of 2 or below. So obviously if you're 2 and below, you don't. If you're a 2, you don't stand virtually any chance of ever getting through, but you can play in a pre-qualifier. It costs $200 to play in. The amount of people that gets through is based on how many people are signed up for the Monday qualifier. And it depends. The pre-qualifier size fields vary depending really on location most of the time. If it's near where a lot of mini tour players play, then they'll be huge. Perfect example of that is the Waste Management Monday qualifier. They have 600 or 700 people in the 7 Monday or in the pre-qualifiers. And like 3 people get through at each spot. Monday qualifiers are basically anyone who has Korn Ferry status or PGA Tour status that's not in the field. And then the group of people that get through from the pre-qualifier. So Korn Ferry members don't have to play a pre-qualifier. They pay $100. And then PGA Tour members don't pay an entry fee. The guys who got through the pre-qualifier, their bonus for getting through the pre-qualifier is to pay another $250 to play in the Monday qualifier. And then, it is literally why I love it. And it is the Monday qualifier itself is go play 18 holes. If you're one of the best 4 scores, you're going to play in a PGA Tour event. It's that simple. And people laugh when I say this, but it's literally like having some good former college basketball players go have a 3-point contest and then they're on the Lakers for a week. It's just like,
yeah, I love
that's
that.
awesome.
It's just ridiculous. Last year the guy who ran a pizza place got through. Plenty of club pros get through. This week Matt Wilson is a guy. He literally was working in a cart barn on Tuesday. He works. He's a cart guy, and does he have a real chance of winning the PGA Tour? No, but he has a better chance than any of us because he's teeing it up in a PGA Tour event.
So how difficult is it to really get through when you break it down? Just say you get to the final Monday qualifier. I see all the time the guys are just firing off 60, 63s, 64s, and still possibly not making it.
Yeah, it really, I say 2 things about the account is 1, how difficult the lifestyle is, and 2, kind of how good guys who are not on the PGA Tour are. I mean, in the last 8 or 10 qualifiers between the Korn Ferry and the PGA Tour, there was 6 times where people who shot 64 did not get through to the Monday Qualifier. They lost in a
My
playoff
God.
each time. But and people say, oh, the course is relatively easy. That's true, but please, go take the best player that most of us know and let me know how many 64s they shoot on a relatively easy golf course. And relatively easy to them is a lot different than relatively easy to players who don't play all the time. I mean, last week it was 7,300 yards. The slope was 130, and the rating was like 74.5. But you need 2 guys who shot 64 went home. So
Yeah,
Wild.
that's just like that's wild to me that's how your week is decided. Like you can go out there, shoot maybe the best round of your life, and still not enough.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and it's such a crapshoot. There's so many guys that can go low in an 18-hole event. It's ridiculous. I mean, George Markham, who got through this week and actually made the cut on Monday Qualifier. I mean, he was the 800 and his best world amateur rankings last year before he turned pro was 822nd in the world. That's his best. And so it just shows how much talent is out there, really.
So what is one of the stories? I mean, you see them all the time on your account. What is one of your favorite stories that's come out of Monday Qualifier?
Yeah, I mean, it happened a couple weeks ago. I mean, there's so many good ones, but I say it all the time. It's really hard to top each week. I say that every week, and then something comes up where, like Jay McClune, 2 weeks ago at the Sanderson. Yeah, Sanderson. I mean, the guy and his wife have both died separately and been revived. Guy had a heart attack sitting on his couch, called 911. Paramedics came, revived him on the way to the hospital, had to be paddled 7 times after he died again, got revived, got a pacemaker put in, hasn't had any health issues. This May, him and his wife, they own some property and was working under a brush hog, trying to fix it. The brush hog fell off the jacks, landed on both of them. They had to call their young daughter over to run to the neighbors, which is like 500-600 yards away. The neighbor brings a tractor, lifts it off of both of them. His wife, his heart had stopped. They give her CPR. She's alive now. She's fine. And he Monday qualified and made the cut. I mean, I say it all the time. I don't know how to top that one.
That is unbelievable.
Unreal.
Jesus.
Yeah, I feel like, but like you said, there's stories like that every week, and it's crazy the talent pool that's out there that and what they go through every week to try to live out their dream.
Yeah, and I mean, Jay, minus all of that, I mean, that's unreal. But Jay is a lifer who's grinded forever. I mean, Jay's 40 years old, has never held PGA Tour status, and is still out there, having at it. I mean, he's played 13 PGA Tour events. A few are sponsors exemptions, but most were Monday qualifiers. I mean, he's just grinding away. He's 40 years old. And he has that never give up. I asked him in an interview, I said, what's the backup plan? And he's like, there's no backup plan. I'm 40 years old. I keep grinding away. And then if I get close to 50, then I'll try the Champions Tour.
That's true. I forget about that. I feel like, so I saw you tweeting about this, I think maybe last week. So I'll give you some time here to plead your case for the Monday Qualifier playoffs every week to be on the Golf Channel.
I mean, I really think, I say that kind of half jokingly, but it can be done relatively cheaply. I wish 5 a year were on, and it doesn't have to be the Monday Qualifier. It doesn't have to be a traditional, just a playoff. And I think if you did it from a little bit different perspective, you do it not from a golf perspective, but from a story perspective, and tell these guys stories, then it can be of interest. I don't expect this to be like, I jokingly say Monday Qualifier should be on TV. I get the reality that is not what the Golf Channel is all about. They're not going to get nearly enough people to ever dream of putting that on TV. But a playoff, send one camera, tell the stories of these guys. I think that can be interesting. So, I mean, here's hoping. I never thought I'd have, I never thought I'd write for the PGA Tour. So, might as well dream big.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I would tune in. I mean, I'm probably more avid of a golf fan than the average person who watches the Golf Channel, but I feel like I would tune into that. I mean, I know Greg tunes into like the Corn Ferry Tour at the end of the week all the time. So I don't know. I feel like Golf Channel's looking for new things all the time.
My thing is like we have a Golf Channel that's literally 24/7 golf.
Yeah.
There's no minute. I mean, Connor Moore's never gonna see this, so like I can only watch the Connor Moore show so many times.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, well, let's do something outside the box and see what happens.
Right.
Go do 3 and see if no one tunes in ever again. Okay, fair enough. But like, let's try to do something. We have 24/7 channel. We can try some things. I would guess.
I was gonna say, I feel like if someone was watching Golf Channel one day and heard of a guy who he died and his wife died and they got revived and now he's playing at PGA Tour event, I feel like people would get attached to that and that would be something that you could honestly show on TV and like people would post about that on social media as well. Like that would get attention for sure.
Yeah, I mean that story got picked up by literally. I mean, I did an interview about Jay in England, Spain. I mean, it was literally a worldwide story. It would have some interest, in my opinion, if they did it correctly. Followed these guys around, had a live interview, knew their story, those kind of things. I think it could be. I've been lucky enough to be at a couple PGA Tour Mondays. I use Alex Smalley all the time. I mean, his mom's carrying his bag. It's pitch black in Phoenix, and they're playing a playoff hole. I mean, it's literally you can hardly see. He gets through to his first PGA Tour event, and him and his mom are crying. I mean, just bawling on the green. And it's like it's just things you don't see in golf very often. I mean, like Dustin Johnson, makes a putt for his X amount wins, whatever, how many ever wins he has. Understandably, he's not that fired up about it. And it doesn't change his life at all. Zero.
Yeah, we were actually thinking about that. Just like when like Rom or DJ that like win an event, it's like, oh, I don't really care. I have so many other wins. Like, doesn't really matter. Like sometimes we like to see a guy who hasn't even on the tour. Like we like to see a guy who hasn't won in like forever and like all the emotions they feel when they like win an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
I mean,
cool
I say it a lot, guys. Is Matt Wilson is a perfect example, and Matt had the guy who just Monday qualified this week. And I don't know how Matt's career is going to work out, but as much as I like to talk about the Corey Connors who Monday qualified and won, and the guys who make cuts and change their life, like Matt Wilson may never step on a PGA Tour event again, ever. But he can say that he played on the PGA Tour, and that's pretty damn cool. And, and it's great that in this sport we have, there's plenty of great college basketball players going back to the basketball analogy that will never, ever, ever step or have a chance to step on an NBA court ever. And this is just a great thing about golf, in my opinion. It's like if Matt Wilson never, ever makes it as a pro golfer, he can always say he teed it up at a PGA Tour event. George Markham, who just made the cut, played with Luke Donald, and I can't remember. I'm saying like how he went from playing outlaw tour events, which is way down the mini tour ground, to playing with the former number one player in the world. This is pretty cool to me.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So you mentioned these guys like Matt Wilson that their situation is very different from a guy like you just mentioned, Corey Connors, who's now on the tour. He's PGA Tour winner. He's making cuts he's a very good player on the tour now. What are some names out there right now grinding that you think could legitimately make a name stay for themselves on the PGA Tour?
Yeah. I always use 3 different guys. Mark Anguiano is probably the best mini tour player out there. He just won the Colorado Open, which is $100,000. And then Matt Picanso is actually a good story. Never played college golf, where he played for about a year and then quit the game entirely for 6 years and was kind of lost in his life and decided to give golf a try just to get some discipline in his life. And now he's probably one of the best mini tour players in the country. He's 37, but super talented. And then Michael Vilsacky down in Florida had really bad luck last year at Q School. He's won like 45 or something times on a mini tour down in Florida. Last year at second stage, he was 2 inside the number on the 71st hole, hit it up in a palm tree and got stuck, and made double and missed by 1. So, if he can if those 3 guys, I mean, it just shows how hard it is to get through. But if they get through, Q School is 1 tournament a year, and a lot of guys just don't play well in Q School, and unfortunately, just that's obviously a huge part of their career. So, if they get through, I think you'll start to hear those names more often for sure.
Well,
Awesome.
yeah, this was all very, very interesting to talk about. Thank you for coming on.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right, so that was a fantastic interview with Ryan French.
Agreed.
Some of the craziest stories just come out of Monday qualifiers, and I feel like not many people know that. I feel like the average golf fan wouldn't know about any of
for
that.
sure. I didn't even know about that, and like we're probably above average golf fans. So
I follow it, so that's why I know it. So even the above average golf fan who doesn't like follow him.
I mean, you have there's like no access to these Monday qualifiers. Kind of like he's saying, like, oh, we need to get it on the golf channel, like just like so people could actually see them. Like, I have no clue what goes on during a Monday qualifier.
He literally said like all you need is like at least 1 camera. There's not even like any cameras out there. Like there's just like it's like literally it's like
there's like 8 players. There's like 8 players
golf tournament I played
in it,
but just with much better players and everything like that.
Yeah. So his @ on Twitter is a case of the golf 1, which
it's on the video if you watch the YouTube.
He said many times he's like on his Twitter he's been like, I don't know why it's that, but it is. Because when you saw when he started, he didn't think he was going to get many followers. So
no, he has like 45,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy.
So
that was good.
We can move on to the course preview before we get into DraftKings picks later.
Right. So this week we got the CJ Cup. Usually played in South Korea, but because of COVID, they've moved it this year, and we're now on a little bit of a Vegas swing here. And we're playing at Shadow Creek, which most of you guys should remember Shadow Creek from the infamous Tiger Phil match a couple years ago. It's one of the most exclusive clubs in the world out in Vegas. Shadow Creek's a par 72, 75-27. It's another desert course. Just based on the field this week, all 5 of the top 5 players in the world are playing this week. Brooks Koepka's making his first start since injury. And DJ has a course record at 66. And it is a desert course, but like the way they've built it, there's a lot of like creeks and like green space stuff like that.
I love that the course record 66.
I know
like
that's kind of. I feel like it's kind of high.
Well, course record since they redid it is 66.
Okay.
Well, have they ever hosted
before
an event?
Before they redid it, the course record is 60. I guess Tiger and someone else owns it.
Makes
sense.
But DJ has a course record since they've redone it at 66. This week, approach shots are going to be really key. There's a lot of very interesting approach shots. There's creeks and stuff and a lot of bunkers like all over the place. So I think you have to be really accurate with your approach shots. So just going in the key stats, that's the first stat that I'm going to put out there, strokes gained approach. And as always, strokes gained off the tee. People who do well off the tee usually do well. And
I'm looking at this. You literally have
the
off
3
the tee,
most
approach and putting.
Well, yeah, I think approach in order of importance. I'm not saying like these are the stats that you need to do, but in order of importance.
Sure.
Like
that makes a lot more sense.
Approach starts is the most important stat this week. Then you go off the tee, and then you go putting.
Okay.
But I would really look at strokes gained approach this week. I think that's the major stat.
Gotcha. All right. So on that note, let's swing it over to the DraftKings picks.
Okay. So DraftKings. Okay. Well, first we'll say last week we just had a terrible week. I mean, there was not much going into it last week. We had like a 15-minute podcast and not a lot of research. And yeah, we'll take ownership of that.
We had a kid with COVID.
Yep.
Jeek, you had your Mondays and Tuesdays are just
I had
swamped.
a paper due at midnight.
Yeah, and I was just fresh off of working a golf tournament for 12 hours in 40-degree weather. So
It's fun.
this week we got some good research going into this. So let's start
And
it off.
I will say, if you look on Golficity bets, I had my all-time worst DraftKings lineup last week, and that kind of sucked.
And I want to say something about that, just to be clear. Some guy was just like giving us so much crap in the comment section of the Golf City Bets Instagram about our picks being bad. It's like, hey, where were you when I won $45 last week? You weren't thanking me. Like, such a fair weather fan. And if he listens to the podcast,
He just wants to
maybe
fail.
don't. Maybe don't. I don't care. I don't need your.
Wait, we don't get paid to do this, so
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, no, it's like, hey,
like you're just taking gambling picks from a bunch of college kids. Like
we don't.
we
claim
research
to-
everything. We really research and we do that stuff and we really like get into it most weeks. But like
and we don't
not
claim
paying,
to.
we're not paying for us. Like you're not paying for
Yeah, if you
premium
don't want to take our
from
picks,
us, like
you don't have to take our
that's
picks.
fine.
We're giving
I mean,
our.
we're bound to pick a winner. We pick a winner like every 3 or 4 weeks. So
And I would say-
almost had one last week. Almost had two. Like I almost had Patrick
I
Cantlay,
quite
and then
literally on
had
the
Matt Wolf.
on the Golf City Bets Instagram, which is where this guy was, picked Hudson Swafford. Where was he then?
I don't know. Whatever. With that being said, terrible DraftKings week. Had Matt Wolf.
I did have Matt Wolf.
Who finished in
So-
second. Everybody else we picked got cut, I think. So not a great week, but we didn't research last week. We researched this week. So I think we're going to have a lot better results this week.
Yeah. So high
let's
salary guy.
hop into the high salary. Yeah.
Right off the bat, I'm assuming you put this in here, Matt Wolf.
Yeah. Back-to-back second place finishes. Kind of found his swing. Kind of found his game. His consistency has been a lot better this season. The start of the year. He's 5th in strokes gained approach, which is a big stat, I said. And he literally has an eagle like every time he plays, or 3 like last time he played.
He had 4
So-
this weekend, right?
Yes,
Jeez.
he had 3 on one
Yeah.
day.
So, yeah, I mean, I like Matthew Wolf to keep going for the same reasons I said last week, and the fact that he just finished second this week. Like, he's playing unreal golf. And also, I was just like looking through everything. I like Rory this week as a high salary guy.
Honestly, if you like, from what I researched, like the guys who drive it real far, like those are the guys that they're gonna do well. So like, there's not like there's a lot of leeway. You can miss
Wide
fairways.
fairways. Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger, like 10 of 14 fairways here, but he's still like every time he missed a fairway, he was absolutely fine. How
Mhm.
many years ago that was? So I feel like if you miss, like if you're long, it's a big advantage, and if you're allowed to miss fairways. And be
I
a
like
little bit
Rory
wild.
to keep it going this week. I put that together a lineup. You'll see it on Golf City Bets' Instagram.
Yeah, I put together a lineup as well, and like you could pick a lot of high salary guys this week.
Mhm.
Like I picked like two guys, like or maybe even 3 guys over 9,000, and still had no trouble filling in a lineup. So there's
Yeah, because
really
there's a
good
lot of. I
field.
mean, like, I didn't pick him, but for example, Adam Hadwin, who had a great week this week, was 6,700.
Exactly. So
So-
I mean, that's just what it is.
Without further
Um,
ado, we should let's just get into our picks. I'll go first. Got Tyrrell Hatton, 9,600. It's a good ball striker. Like we've all like that's kind of the theme this week that we like. He just won at the BMW and
He did.
not like
Europe,
the BMW
yeah.
Championship, but like the one in Europe. And he's scary good when he's in good form.
I mean, he's
like,
been on good
you see
form pretty
that?
much the entire season, except for
Well,
like
no,
he only played bad in the majors this year, which is interesting. He
Yeah.
played really well in just about every tournament except for the U.S. Open and the PGA.
and the which one did he play bad in?
One of the playoff ones. But
No, he played bad in a tournament where we all thought he was going to do well because of his water avoidance, and he played really bad.
Is it FedEx
Oh,
St.
wow.
Jude maybe?
Yeah, FedEx St. Jude.
yeah, but like just about that. Besides those 3 tournaments, he's played well in like the rest of them, like top 20s.
You
And
see
the rest of them.
that? You see that picture of him like winning the tournament, like, and then like a picture of him like however many years ago when he was like like a fan, like watching the tournament. Like
No,
it's-
I
it was in the exact same place, like on the same hole, like on maybe on 18 or something like that. It's a picture of him in front of a hole when he was like probably like 8 years old, or like smaller, and then it's him now with a trophy. I thought that was pretty.
That,
cool.
that was one of those big tournaments for like European tour too.
Oh,
Like it
huge.
wasn't a small
Sounds
tournament.
like
It was
it.
a really big one.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not completely unrelated, but Rick Shields had a video of like Lee Westwood there a couple
Mhm.
days ago. So
Michelle's dope.
pretty big tournament.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tyrrell had 9,600. Who's up next?
I'll go next. This is kind of outside the box here, but I'm gonna go with Tony Finau at 9,400. Now, I know what you're all thinking. He had COVID last week. Trev also had COVID last week, but he's here and he's doing the podcast. He seems fine.
I'm gutting it out. It's a gutsy performance being here today, even though I'm still positive.
So I mean, Tony Finau is asymptomatic apparently. I think he's good. He's in the field this week. He's expected to play this week. And I will say that his the COVID positive came at the worst time for Tony Finau because he was playing really good golf. He started taking those full driver swings at the U.S. Open, which actually worked out really well. He ended up finishing 5th or 3rd or something.
He played really
third.
well.
He was 3rd in strokes gained approach early in the season, which means his ball striking has been fantastic recently. And you know what? I mean, COVID took him out, so he got a week off. But if he's in the field this week, which, like I said, fully expect him to be, I mean, Tony Finau is playing great golf, and I think he's found something to his game that might be an advantage.
I mean, if you talk about I have COVID and I'm doing this, he should be able to play this golf tournament.
Right.
He should be able to walk.
Yeah, he should be able to walk in the Vegas sun. He should be able to walk 4 rounds. He'll be fine. He'll be
able to walk a couple of miles a day.
Yeah,
for 4
a
days.
couple miles a day,
exactly.
4 days, and in the middle of the desert. He'll be.
I mean, it's Monday. It's Monday, but all signs are showing that he's going to play this week. So as long as the PGA lets him play, which I think they will. I think he had a negative test or something. I mean, he's good. He should play pretty well if he plays. So.
All right, so I'll go with my first pick, Joaquin Niemann. I might have spelled his name wrong in the doc, but 7,500. He finished T13. Was the Shriners last week? It was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So he finished T13 there, so he's playing well. He's 4th in driving distance and 17th in scoring average. I think he's even better in 32nd in strokes gained off the tee and 18th in strokes gained putting. So you can do a little bit of everything. He played well at the end of last year, and I think that again I'm riding high with the big drivers, and that might not have as much accuracy, but they can drive the ball really far. So that's my first pick, and I think at 7,500 is pretty good value.
Joaquin hits it so far for a guy with his stature. He's only
how tall is he?
5'9".
The lag is unbelievable lag, and he's slight too. Next pick, I'll go with Bubba Watson at 7,300. He's 3rd in strokes gained off the tee. He's 22nd in driving distance, 19th in scoring average. And again, driver's golf course you can be a little wild. Tiger was a little wild. I think as wild as you can get is probably Bubba. So I think this course kind of fits his play style, and he can kind of bomb it all over the place along par 5.
I mean, any course that fits Bubba's eye, any course that fits Bubba's eye, he'll play well at.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of if the course fits his eye or not. And
I think this one does.
Playing here.
The more that
we have no clue. I mean, we'll find out, I guess. But I mean,
obviously never. Well, he's definitely played here before, but
not a tournament. We don't know.
PGA. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying we did get to take a look at the course when we were watching. What was that?
Tiger and Phil.
Sophomore year in college. It was 2 years ago.
Sophomore year. Yeah, it was sophomore.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, we're all watching in Trevor's basement.
We ended the
that was a wild. That was a wild day. That was
a great day.
But yeah, so we gotta look at the course during that. Other than that, we don't have a ton of information, but I feel like it does seem like a Bubba Watson course, just a really wide fairways, can do pretty much anything with his driver.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Exactly.
Completely unrelated, but if there's a playoff, will we get to that 19th hole from the parking lot?
Oh yes.
Oh my Lord.
Give us that. Give us the 19th hole.
Jesus, that would be.
Could you imagine?
60 yards down the hill with Trevor
closest to the pin.
God.
Yeah. Right.
Jesus.
Okay. With that being said, my second pick, since I went high on my first pick, I'm gonna go low on my second pick, and my second pick is gonna be Corey Connors at 6,900. I love picking this guy. He was T17. I picked him at Sanderson a few weeks ago. Like I said, great ball striker. He finished last season 12th in strokes gained approach. And kind of sticking with the theme of this episode, this is the Monday Qualifier, mini tour theme. I mean, Corey Connors comes straight from a mini tour, won a qualifier, won an event, has PGA Tour status. So we're gonna stick with the theme of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. He's also in my DraftKings line that I put together. So I feel like hopefully his owner percentage isn't that high this week, but I don't think
I wouldn't think so. There's so many guys this week.
Yeah.
I mean, we are on Corey Connors because he's such a great ball striker, and we like ball strikers. But
and he allows you to get creative with your lineup.
Exactly.
Or not creative, but get
Because he's always in that
high
mid to
salary
low
guys.
price. So I
Yeah.
mean, because he's not a great putter, but if he putts well, like 1 week, he finishes in the top 20. So
So yeah, with my last pick, it's a similar like low salary guy that allows me to put a guy like Rory and Tara Hadden in my lineup. So I got Billy Horschel, 7,200. He's just another one of those good ball strikers, and he's had some really good finishes his past 3 starts at the U.S. Open, Northern Trust, and BMW. He was like 30, 33, like 33. So those are solid starts at courses that are not easy at all.
For that salary, it's good stat. It's a good number to finish at.
Yeah. So I think, if at 7,200 he can give you a top 30, that'd be pretty good. And last year I think he made like 19 out of 23 cuts. So that's really all you're asking out of your low salary guy. So I like him.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, let's get into bets. Pat has 3 points. I still have 1 point, and Trev has 3 points. So even with a missed week, we didn't gain anything.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Yeah.
That's kind of tough.
I'll start again. For my winner, I got Rory at plus 1,400. Same reason I said earlier when we were going through high salary guys. I feel like he's gonna turn it around. He hasn't been playing bad golf. I don't think he missed a cut, but like, it's just he lost some of that momentum after the COVID break.
Agreed.
But new season, new Rory. I mean, he's still one of the best players in the world, top 5. And my best bet, I also have Rory top 20 at minus 180. It's a little bit of money to blow, but I like him. I didn't like some of the matchups I saw on DraftKings Sportsbook. As the week goes on, obviously, some more will come out. But
here's a little hot take on Rory. Ever since he's become a dad, T12, T8, solo 8.
Okay, so you just did my research for me.
Yep.
So there you go. That right there. That's that.
I just figured that out. I don't even. Just kind of funny. Okay, so my winner this week, I'm gonna double down on what Trevor's winner from last week. I'm gonna pick Patrick Cantlay at plus 1,800. Last week was kind of disappointing. He had the 54-hole lead. Had a pretty bad Sunday, and that kind of did him in. He wasn't really in contention. He wasn't in the final pairing, all that stuff. So that sucks. But despite that, he still had a T8, so he played well last week for the most part, except for Sunday. Wasn't wonderful for his approach game, but was 5th in strokes gained around the green last week, so he made up for it. Last season, he did finish 18th in strokes gained approach, so he has it in him. And I just think he's good for due for a good stretch of golf. I mean, Patrick Cantlay's one of those guys that's always up around the top of the leaderboard, doesn't seem to win a lot of events, but he's just due. I feel like it. And then for my best bet, I'm gonna go with Tyrell. I need the bonus points, I feel like. So I'm gonna go with Tyrell Hatton, top English player, plus 20 or plus 250. Pat probably mentioned this before, but he's a really good ball striker. He's a really good putter. That's a good combo. And he's coming off of a win last week, so he's hot. And I'm looking for those bonus points.
Gotcha. So I'll get my winner, my boy Xander Schauffele. I feel like I was talking to Jake before this, and I feel like you can't really go wrong picking Xander at all. He's just solid, and he plays best. And
speaking of somebody who's due for a win,
yeah, exactly.
He's in the top 5 in every event he plays.
Exactly. So I'll go with just Xander Schauffele at plus, was it 1,200, 1,400, and then. So he's last year, he's only played the U.S. Open so far this season, but he was 8th in strokes gained off the tee last year, 3rd in strokes gained total, 7th in strokes gained tee to green. And this year so far, he's in the top 2 in strokes gained around the green, strokes gained putting. So, his game is, his game is about as well-rounded as you can possibly get. So I love that. I love Xander win. I think he's due for a win as well, as Jake said.
May I just say, Trevor, I love your best bet.
Love my best bet.
I love your best bet.
Sergio Garcia over Justin Rose, minus 120. Sergio just won a couple weeks ago. He's great driving distance, 7th in strokes gained off the tee, and is one of the longer hitters on tour, which is kind of weird because he's one of the older guys, but he still has one longer hitters. And he's 22nd in holes per eagle. And there's a lot of long par 5s this week, so I think if he can find a couple eagles, he has a really good chance to play well. And I think Rose. I just haven't heard enough from Rose to for me to be like, okay,
He's been very inconsistent.
well. Yeah,
Very
and so
inconsistent.
I just don't think. Honestly, the only thing I think of Rose when I think of him right now is that one shot he hit in the match with Tiger, JT, and Rory, where he hit it way left, like way left.
That's all you got.
That's just what's in my head about Justin
Yeah.
Rose. So that combined with Sergio's distance, I think that's a pretty easy bet. Hopefully,
Justin Rose, we got that in our head, and then all those like Morgan Stanley commercials that he's in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
watch Justin Rose like go out
100%.
and win it now.
Yeah, probably.
All right. And then for our first round leaders, Jake, you want to introduce those?
Yeah, so we're gonna go with Dustin Johnson plus 1600. I mean, this is the favorite for the first round leader, but like it's plus 1600. That's pretty good.
And he has the
I feel
course record,
I feel like
doesn't
we
he?
got to start picking the favorite like in the first round leaders. Like it worked. Like last week it was Bryson. He was a favorite. So I mean, you can't really go wrong. Also, like I said before, he has a course record at Shadow Creek before renovation. So he knows this course. He's played this course good amount. So and obviously, and he's DJ. He won the FedEx Cup. He's been on pretty good form. You can't really go wrong with DJ
you
coming
can't.
out the gates
You
really
never
hot.
can.
And then second, we're gonna go with Matthew Wolff plus 2,800, which I feel like is a steal for odds for him. I mean, like I said before, I feel like he's found his game, back-to-back second place finishes. He's been really consistent with his ball striking this year so far. Almost closed it out last week. And also, he's a birdie and eagle machine when he gets going. I mean, look at him last week, all those eagles, ton of birdies. Like he just pumps out eagles when he's like on his game, and I feel like he's on his game right now. So
Yeah,
can't go
I like
wrong.
those. All right, and then so that'll do it for betting in DFS. Hopefully, we make some money this week. It can only go up from last week. So now birds and bogues of the week. I'll start. Birdie. Well, I think this weekend I'm going to a tournament. It's like a kind of a closing out tournament for the Central New York section of the PGA, where we go up on Thursday morning. Apparently, it's a fun round of golf. That's all I'll say, and I'm playing in it. But
Okay.
apparently it's a very fun round of golf. Fun dinner on Thursday, as we'll call it.
A little banquet.
and another fun round on Friday. So
Oh, that's pretty cool.
and then I'm back by like 5 on Friday, and I have my whole weekend ahead of me. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's a good way to start the weekend. to be
oh
honest. Yeah.
And bogey is I don't know. I feel like the bogey's been hard to come by recently.
I mean, we haven't been like doing a whole lot.
Good
I mean,
couple weeks.
Trev got COVID, so like,
Yeah, that was gonna be
Yeah.
yeah. I literally can't like do anything.
Bogeys that we did pretty bad in the
yeah, and
in
then
betting
all-time
last
bad
week, and
DraftKings.
Trevor has COVID.
Yeah, I'll say my bogeys. I have COVID. And I can't do anything. Yeah, it sucks because I literally went to the driving range. My birdie was I went to the driving range for the first time like in like a month, like last week or 2 weeks ago, before I got COVID. And then like I'm like, all right, like I told my friend like, yeah, well, we should play golf like next week. Like let's play next Friday or something like that when we don't have class. And then I got COVID. And he texted me that day, so like it looks like we're not playing golf this week. I'm like, God damn it, we're not. But so I still haven't been able to play golf at all. But I'm trying to get out there.
I feel like a
more.
birdie's hard to come
Once
by
what-
when you're in quarantine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I'm literally just I'm watching a lot of sports. That's what the Bears
Playing
won.
a
Bears
little
won
bit of
Bucks. That's a
FIFA,
big
you
one.
know.
Yeah. There you go.
Mhm.
I mean, Birdie, I don't know, been home for the weekend, chilling with the dog here at Augusta National. Yeah, pretty good weekend. I go back tomorrow morning. Bogey, I don't know, just barely missed my parlay last night. Would have been a lot of
Right.
money, but I
Right.
mean, still ended up in the green, so it was a decent week. But
Yeah, me and Trevor for sure.
I also had a live bet on Matt Wolff. I also had a live bet on Matt Wolff at the start of the day because I was just kind of feeling it.
Yeah.
And like they go into that playoff, and I was like, oh, I might win this. Like actually, because like I you put in like $5 to $10, and you're like, oh, like I'm probably just gonna lose that,
Mhm.
like on like a little live bet on golf, but you might as well. And like I didn't
Mhm.
think Matt Wolff really had a chance, and then you see like he eagles 16, like he's one stroke behind. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
like he has a chance, but then
Yeah.
he did miss the putt on the final hole, so wasn't
Yeah.
that great. But other than that, pretty solid
Cool.
weekend.
I feel like we've been having some pretty good weekends. Not much to do in college right now, but
I mean, I haven't played golf in a couple weeks. I think I'm gonna try to play this
yeah, I
week or
played for the
next
first time in a
weekend.
while this weekend at like a pretty nice club that I got onto.
I didn't want to
I
like
didn't
bring
play
my
very well.
I didn't want to bring my golf clubs like home with me, or else I could have played this
Mm.
weekend. But and then I just never played last weekend, so
Yeah.
it's been ever since Granite I haven't played. But I'm trying to play again at least a couple more times.
And Trevor can't.
before it gets cold.
I literally cannot leave my room.
Yeah, Trevor could only play PGA Tour
I
2K.
mean,
That's
PGA,
it.
which we still have to do that. We still have to play a round of us three and see what happens. I'm
Yeah, it's
playing.
hard to come
I
by.
literally have the yips. That's another bogey. I literally have the yips in that game. I swear to God, I suck at
Trev
it now.
has the yips in that game.
I used to be so. I used to be so good. My friends and I would play for money. I used to be so good.
Dude,
I would,
I'm like a
every single
plus.
time, and now I just suck. I can't hit the fairway. I can't.
I'm like
can't
a
do anything.
+5 handicap or something in that game, and then my roommates
You're
went
not
on
a
and
plus
played.
5. You're like
Yes,
a
I
plus
am.
like
And then-
2 probably.
And then my roommates came on and played, and like I think they brought me back down to like even because like for some reason like people can't learn how to play that game. I don't understand. Like,
We're all like
I
my
have no
friends
one
and
to play
my friends and I
against.
are all +15s.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's not
like
that
we're
hard.
like I think I was a +20 at one point. And
I don't know what that
I'm
is.
back down to plus.
the more you
+10.
play, like you get pretty good.
Oh yeah, it gets it. But like I literally I
haven't
cannot
played in a
play
while.
that game. I cannot play that game. It sucks.
Yeah, well that's I got some chicken in the oven right now, so we should probably
Ooh, that sounds
wrap
good.
these
I wanna send
birdies
me
and bogeys up.
I'm tired of paying for food. I need someone to send me food.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview. We're
We'll
looking to
drop
get-
Trevor's address in the link below.
Yeah, if you want to send me any
Got him
food, I mean, I'm starving here.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview. We're looking to get some more people on as we get going.
Yeah, the
into
interview was
second year of the
awesome.
podcast.
Yeah,
So,
so cool.
Yeah, we're heading into the second year. I feel like that's the direction to go to, get the ratings up on the show, because then we can do cooler stuff for you guys that actually
and then we could actually make
for the-
some money.
for the great listeners.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
And then we have no then we have no
it's for the
excuses
fans,
on the
it's for the
picks.
fans.
it's not only good for us, but then we're allowed to do more things, like
Yeah.
more opportunities will come. So that'll be good for us if we keep getting some good interviews like this guy.
Mhm.
So see you next week at the. Couldn't tell you what term is next. Is it Houston Open?
I think there's one more before the Houston Open.
Whatever
Tune
it
in
is,
next
bro.
week. Tune in next week to find out what tournament it is.
Yeah, because we'll be wondering the same thing.
We'll see you next week.